गंगाधराय शिव गंगाधराय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
गंगाधराय शिव गंगाधराय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
ॐ न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागे नैके अमृतत्वमानशुः, परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायां विभ्राजते यद्यतयो विशन्ति। वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्था सन्न्यासयोगाद्यतय शुद्धसत्त्वाः, ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परान्तकाले परामृताः परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे। दह्रं विपापं परमेश्मभूतं यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमध्यस्सगस्थं, तत्रापि दह्रं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यं। यो वेदादौ स्वरप्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः, तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः। तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति।
आरति श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की, दिव्य रूप मूर्ति करुणा की। आरति सद्गुरु की, आरति सद्गुरु की, आरति सद्गुरु की।
We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values, within and without us. We live honestly, the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume, and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat.
ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः।
Hari Om. As Pujya Uncle himself announced in the class last Sunday, he will start taking Sunday adult satsang in person at Smriti Hall from March 6th, which is 2 Sundays from today. This pravachan will also be live streamed for other adults who can attend from home. All Bal Vihar and Hari Om.
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ, आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ, आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
भक्तों को कभी तूने निराश ना किया,
भक्तों को कभी तूने निराश ना किया,
भक्तों को कभी तूने भक्तों को कभी शिव ने निराश ना किया,
भक्तों को कभी शिव ने निराश ना किया।
भक्तों को कभी शिव ने निराश ना किया,
भक्तों को कभी शिव ने निराश ना किया।
मांगा जो जिसने चाहा वरदान दे दिया,
मांगा जो जिसने चाहा वरदान दे दिया।
बड़ा है तेरा दायरा, बड़ा है तेरा दायरा, बड़ा दातार तू।
बड़ा है तेरा दायरा, बड़ा दातार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
बखान क्या करूं मैं ओ मेरे देवता,
बखान क्या करूं मैं ओ मेरे देवता।
बखान क्या करूं मैं, बखान क्या करूं मैं देवों के देवता।
बखान क्या करूं मैं देवों के देवता।
बखान क्या करूं मैं राखों के धेर का,
बखान क्या करूं मैं राखों के ढेर का।
चपटी बबूत में है खजाना कुबेर का,
चपटी बबूत में है खजाना कुबेर का।
हे गंगाधार हे गंगाधार मुक्ति द्वार ओमकार तू है।
हे गंगाधार मुक्ति द्वार ओमकार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
कैलाश के निवासी नमु बार बार हूँ,
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
क्या क्या नहीं दिया मुझको क्या प्रमाण दे,
क्या क्या नहीं दिया मुझको क्या प्रमाण दे।
क्या नहीं दिया मुझको, क्या प्रमाण दे।
क्या क्या नहीं दिया मुझको, क्या प्रमाण दे।
बसे गए त्रिलोक शंभु तेरे दान से,
बसे गए
त्रिलोक शंभु तेरे दान से। जहर पिया जीवन दिया कितना उदार तू,
जहर पिया जीवन दिया कितना उदार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमो बार बार हूँ,
कैलाश के निवासी नमो बार बार हूँ।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
तेरी कृपा बिना न हिले एक भी अणु,
तेरी कृपा बिना नहीं ले एक भी अणु।
तेरी कृपा बिना न हिले एक भी अणु,
तेरी कृपा बिना नहीं ले एक भी अणु।
लेते हैं श्वास तेरी दया से तनु तनु,
लेते हैं श्वास तेरी दया से अनंतनु।
कहे ये दाद एक बार मुझको निहार तू,
कहे ये दाद एक बार मुझको निहार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
कैलाश के निवासी नमो बार बार हूँ,
कैलाश के निवासी नमो बार बार हूँ।
आयो शरण तिहारे प्रभु पार तार तू।
आयो शरण तिहारे
प्रभु पार तार तू, प्रभु पार तार तू, प्रभु पार तार तू, प्रभु पार तार तू।
Very good. Really enjoyed it. Hemant. Karturajnaya prapyate phalam कर्म किं परम कर्म तच्चरम कृतिमहो ददौ पतन कारणम फलम शाश्वतम गति निरोधकम ईश्वरार्पितम नेच्छया कृतम चित्त शोधकम मुक्ति साधकम काय वाङ्मन कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जप चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषदी युक्त सेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभृ देव पूजनम् उत्तमस्तवात् उच्चमन्दता चित्तजं जप ध्यानमुत्तमम् कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परम कर्म तच्चरम. So Bhagwan Raman Mercy in the first three sloka have addressed karma yoga, essentially telling us that everything has come from him. He alone is. I am Alpagna, he is Sarvagna, and therefore I do my karya but offer the fruits of my karma to Bhagwan. So my mind becomes quiet and chitta shodhakam. And when antakarna is shuddha, mukti sadhakam, it helps me. It creates a frame of mind that is fit to get the knowledge to attain freedom. And every one of us, whether we know it or not, we are looking for freedom. Then he turns to Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga meaning my love for the Lord. And where is the Lord? For every wave, ocean is the Lord. before the birth of the wave, during the life of the wave, and after the death of the wave. The relationship that the wave or that quantity of water has with the ocean is permanent. And it is true for all waves. Among the waves, the relationships vary, but every wave has the same relationship with its creator, the ocean. You and I, the created ones, also have the same relationship with the creator. Though among us, our relationships keep on changing. It is temporary, but the relationship with Bhagwan is permanent. And thus Bhagwan says, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Astamurti Deva Pujanam. I see Bhagwan everywhere. So he says three things. Puja, Kaya Vang Mana. Kaya meaning physical body. Vak, speech. Kaya Vang Mana, mind. These are the three vehicles that we have. And I want to continuously remember, as if the wave is trying to always remember, that ocean is my permanent relationship. Ocean is the Lord. I have permanent relationship. I forget that. I get so involved with the world that only in Mandir I remember that I am a bhakta, I am a devotee. Otherwise, I take up different forms. But I want to remember that I am a devotee first and last, and all other roles come and go. And in order to do that, Bhagwan says, invoke, just like when I look at the flag of United States, I remember when I see the 50 stars and stripes, I remember the United States of America. Similarly, when I see Bhagwan's Murti, I think of Bhagwan. It raises my mind. The idol raises the ideal in front of my mind. And when I do puja, my mind as well as my sharir is involved in doing the puja. So I come to know and remember Bhagwan. Puja, every substance has three things, form, name, and its nature. Now, when I do japa, it says here, pujanam japas, chintanam krama. And we were at japa. So when it comes to japa, meaning now I am taking the name of the Lord. Please remember, when you just look at the form and may not know the name of the person, but having known the name, whenever you think of the name, what happens? The form naturally comes, right? Last time we took the example of Hemant Bhavsa, right? Now you know that the one who just sang Kailasake Nivasi, he is Hemant Bhavsa. Right? Now when I say Hemant Bhavsa, Daksha Bhavsa, immediately the couple comes to your mind. The name as well as the form comes to your mind. So Bhagwan says that in order for me to remember Bhagwan again and again, Uttamah stava uchamandata chitta jam japa dhyanam uttamam. He says stava, meaning stuti of Bhagwan, right? The bhajan that Hemant sang. Some of you who do not understand Hindi or born and raised here, it's difficult. But again and again says, oh Lord, you are infinite mercy. And what is it that you cannot give me? You have given me everything. Bada hai tera daira, bada datar tu. You are the greatest giver. Whatever I ask, Lord, you give me. Now, when we hear that bhajan, naturally, those of us who understand Hindi, it touches our heart. It uplifts our heart in devotion towards Lord Shiva. But when Hemant is gone, when tablas are not there, it is little difficult. But I depend on it. So Bhagwan says, better yet is japa. Japa meaning avrutti. Avrutti meaning repetition. One after other, the same thought is repeated. It is called japa. And here, a little bit of revision is very important because this is a very important thing to understand. First of all, listen, observe, analyze your mind. At any given time, an average human being's mind is called a meandering mind or reacting mind. Meandering mind meaning you think of one thing, and from there, before you can think, it jumps from one to other thing, and I have no control over my mind. To give you the same example as we did last time, you saw Hemant wearing that nice kurta, right? Now you are listening to the bhajan, you are being inspired by Bhagwan, Shiva, etc. And next thing is, boy, again, last Sunday, Gaurangbhai said, and certainly he's wearing a nice kurta. Maybe after the pravachan, I will call him or get his number from a Gaurang uncle and call him. Where did he get that kurta in India? Now from Bhagwan Kailasa Kenivasi, from Himalaya and Lord Shiva, where have you come down to? This is called mechanical thinking, meandering mind, avesh, meaning you have no control over your mind. And this is the condition of majority of us. From one thought to other thought, we don't know, the mind just goes on. None of us will buy a car that drives us wherever it wants to. I want the car to be under my control. But mind is my instrument and it takes me wherever it wants to. This kind of meandering mind is called Vijatiya Vritti Prava. Prava meaning the flow. Vritti Prava meaning flow of thoughts. Vijatiya meaning meandering. From Kailas you come down to Hemant, to his cloth, to where to buy it in India. There is no consistency. It is called Vijatiya Vritti Prava. One of the other things that happens in Vijatiya Vritti Prava, not only meandering mind, at least meandering mind you can accept that it's going, but the mind that thinks mechanically also thinks based on raga and dvesha. Please understand. Some individuals ask, right? So why should I chant Om Namah Shivaya? Why should I chant Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram? What is wrong if I just say Tito, 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 Om Tito, Om Tito, Om Tito? Nothing wrong. Because it is called Sajatiya Vritti Prava. Please understand. First one was Vijatiya, meandering mind going everywhere. Sajatiya meaning thought, Sajatiya Vritti Prava. Prava, flow. Vritti, thought. The flow of thought is Sajatiya, meaning the same kind of thought again and again. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And the question comes, why not just say Tito, 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 or A, B, B? Of course, you will develop concentration because there is no Vijatiya Vritti Prava. It is the same thought again and again. Tito, 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 or A, B, B. But at the end of it, when the mind is focused and the Tito or A is dropped, there is void. There is no form. You don't know what Tito is. But when you say Ram, there is a form. Then another individuals ask, why, what is wrong then? If I think of someone, Tito, I have no form. What if I think of an actor that I like? What I think of an actress that I like? Or what if I think of my grandchild that I love? See, in other words, my heart very easily flows towards my grandchild or the actor or actress that I have lust for. My mind goes there. Now think of it. What are we trying to do? Please understand very carefully. I want to lift my mind from raga and dvesha. Rag is like. Dvesha is dislike. You and I are being tossed around by our likes and dislikes. We engage because I like this, I will enjoy, and we want to run away. I don't want that guy in my party, right? Rag and dvesh doesn't give me a quiet mind. You think of an actor or an actress that you have lust for. You think about your grandchild, and you say, oh, so lovely. That son of mine doesn't understand. He shouldn't raise the child this way. He should do this way. But aajkal ke ladke, they don't even listen to us. Right? What happens? Raga and dvesha will come. But when you think of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, You don't even think of Lakshman. You do not wonder whether Sita, what must have she cooked for Ram? Remember, the thought just remains on the Rama and the form of Bhagwan Rama. This is called Sajatiya Vritti Prava. Not a meandering mind that goes wherever it wants to go. The mind that has rag and dvesh, please understand what happens. You get either frustrated, right? There are 5 things: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsar. 6 things. Kama, lust. Krodh, someone who comes between me and my object of lust or desire. Kama, Krodh. Lobha, if I get what I want, what happens? I want more. Greed comes. Kama, Krodha, Lobha is greed. Moha, meaning whatever I like, I project it is better than what it is because I like it. That is called moha, delusion. You value it more than what it is because you have a lust for it. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad. I did it. I am someone. And Matsar is Irsha, right? Jealousy. Now think of it. When you have jealousy for somebody, then your Vritti Prava, remember I'm talking about Vijatiya Vritti Prava. Don't worry. Some people say, Uncle, you are going slow. Remember, I want you to thoroughly understand. Vijatiya Vritti Prava. Now you have a Irsha, jealousy of somebody. Can you get rid of that thought easily? What happens? The mind continues, and you get frustrated because you can't solve it. You have no control over your mind. This is called in avesha, but the mind controls you and it leads to frustration. Therefore, once I understand that raga and dvesa, I don't want to think of something that is lower where I have raga and dvesa. I don't want to think of something where there is no form like Tito, etc., or Gagabugai, which doesn't mean anything. But when I chant Om Namah Shivaya, first of all, our scriptures, we have to have faith in scripture. Shastra says, when you say Ram, Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, or Krishna, or Shiva, or their associated mantra, it itself brings punya. Punya means merit, and it cleans the antakaran, purifies the antakaran. Remember, Chitta Shodakam is the goal, not the final goal, but initial goal. So the name of Bhagwan purifies the heart. And when I say, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, continuously as best as I can, not very fast, but normal speed. And Bhagwan says what? Uttamastavat, Ucha Manda, Ucha meaning I and a person nearby can also hear. Why Ucha? In the beginning, so that my mind doesn't wander away. Every one of us have experienced when I start chanting Om Namah Shivaya, after the second or third mantra, what happens? Some other thought comes and my mind goes there because meandering mind. But when I chant loudly, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, I'm not allowed, my mind cannot meander because it has to go with the lip as well as the sound. Once I master that, then Bhagwan says, Mandata. Manda meaning lower volume. One was Para Sruti Gochara, now Swasruti. Para Sruti, others can hear. Swasruti, only I can hear. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Once I mastered that, Bhagwan says, now what? Uttamastava Uchamandata Chitta Jam Japa Dhyanamuttamam. Chitta Jam Japa. Japa, born of Chitta, in the mind alone. Not even lips are moving, but in mind. When can that happen? First I do loudly, then slowly. Once I control my mind and the Sajatiya Vritti Prava, my mind is no longer meandering, no longer running away. Then I just chant within. Oh. The lips even don't move. It is happening within only. The very word japa means janmanaha pati is the meaning of japa. Ja, janmanaha, birth. Pati, that which protects. Meaning that which protects me from this cycle of birth and death, meaning that which releases me from this cycle of birth and death. Japa, Janma Pati, the one that protects me from that. Now, when I just chant within, why is it that Raman Maharshi says, Chitta Jam Japa, Dhyanam Uttamam? He says, Dhyan is the best and it is born of Chitta Jam, Janma, Jam. Mentally chanting, it gives birth to Dhyana. Now, how? First of all, understand. In the beginning, japa, when I'm doing, it is always continuous without any break. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. In other words, there is no gap between two successive mantras, otherwise mind will escape. But once I have mastered, now what do? I chant. Oh, I'm saying it loudly, but this is happening in mind. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now, assuming that your mind is not wandering, it has become quiet and only the mantra is rising and falling. So the pravaha, the flow is what? Only Om Namah Shivaya. But when the Om Namah Shivaya is chanted, there is Om Namah Shivaya. Then there is silence. Then there is Om Namah Shivaya. Then there is silence. What happens when the mind is meandering, goes from one to other, mechanical thinking, or when we are jealous or lusty, etc., and the thought just goes from one thought to other, this gap of silence is not mind. The mind just goes from one thought to other without the silence. What japa gives me an opportunity is deliberately come to experience this gap between two successive mantra. And a person, when he thinks after he comes out of japa, he says, look, the japa was there. Then there was silence. Then there was japa. My mind was not going anywhere. So there were only two things, the silence and the japa. Silence and japa. Now, was I there or not at that time? Of course, I am very much there, isn't it? Then who am I? Japa comes and goes. That silence is my nature. This is called being self-conscious. When the mind is meandering, when the mind is jumping from one to other thought, this silence, this self-consciousness is not mine. I forget. Therefore, I get angry at somebody, etc. And then I say, why did I do this? Isn't it? Because I forget who I am. But when I'm self-conscious, I know, and then every thought that rises is under my command. So as you do japa more and more, and as you increase this gap between two successive mantras, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As I'm chanting the name of Krishna, Vasudevaya, son of Vasudeva, the Lord Krishna, the name, the mantra, and even Krishna's form comes to mind. When the silence comes, that is my nature, because mantra comes and goes. This mantra is enveloped by silence. The silence, I am always there. The mantra comes, mantra exists, mantra goes. The silence, I, consciousness, Chaitanya, I always am. Now, if I always am, and the mantra comes and mantra goes, where does the mantra come from? From me, the Chaitanya alone. Where does the wave rise from? From ocean alone, the wave rises. From the ocean of consciousness rises Om Namah Shivaya. And the wave disappears, but the ocean remains. Chaitanya always remains. And that is my nature. And this I come to understand, that my nature is silence, awareness. And what comes and goes are the vrittis. Bhagavan says, Chitta jam japa. Chitta, my mind, chitta conditioned consciousness, jam, born of my mind, this japa. Dhyanam uttamam, right? Parasruti gochara, louder, softer, then in the mind alone japa. Once I master that, little space between the mantra to come to appreciate that that silence is my nature and I become self-conscious. This is called dhyana. And in dhyana, there are three things. Dhyata, the meditator, dhyeya, the object of meditation, and dhyan, the very process of meditating upon the object that I'm meditating on. That process is called dhyana. So dhyata, the meditator, dhyan, the very process, and dhyeya, the object of meditation. So now Bhagavan explains it very, very beautifully. He says, Ajyadharaya, Jamana, unmute.
आज्यधारया श्रुतसासमं सरलचिन्तनं विरलतपरम् आज्यधारया श्रुतसासमं सरलचिन्तनं विरलतपरम् कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम्.
So now, dhyana, the meditation. Remember, this is all bhakti yoga, love for Lord, or the Lord is none other than me. So he says here, Ajya dharaya srota sasam. Ajya meaning ghee. Dharaya meaning dhara. When you take ghee, now he's talking about melted ghee, okay? Because here in India, most of the time it is melted ghee only, other than, but here, because of cold weather, it solidifies. But ghee that is hot or liquid, but ghee has a property of what? Sneha, isn't it? It sticks. When I have love for Bhagavan, when I have sneha, love for Bhagavan, right? And how does this meditation flow? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now, when you pour ghee, little bit of effort is required, isn't it? It doesn't come that easily, you have to pour. But then it says, Ajya dharaya srota sasamam. Flow of river. Now, when the river is flowing, what happens? Is there any effort required? Water always from higher to lower. And there are so many obstacles that come, right? You go to any river, especially river when it is coming from the mountain at the top. There are so many boulders and stones and other things that are there in the river. Right? But does the river stop that, oh, there is a big boulder? No, river just comes, splashes against the boulder, goes around, and it continues. No matter what the obstacle, sahaja, naturally it keeps on flowing. Our dhyan, he says, our meditation should also be that type whereby it naturally flows. But our experience is what? Raman Maharshi can always say it should be like river and flow very smoothly. But what is your experience? What is my experience? So Bhagavan says, Ajya dharya srota sasanam sarala chintanam virala tapparam. Two types. Please understand, here he is not talking about Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna meaning Rama, Krishna, right? We saw 5, Ganapati, Surya, because they have quality. You know, we can say Krishna is this, Ram is this, or Nirguna, meaning the silence between the two thoughts where there are no qualities, life, Chaitanya alone. Bhagavan is not, Raman Maharshi is not talking about, so which one? He's just talking two types of thinking happens. Sarala chintanam, virala tapparam. Contemplation, right? Dhyana, you are thinking now, Krishna, for example, right? Then who is Krishna? The form of Krishna and the nature of Krishna. He is the one from whom everything has come. Right? The Lord, when I came into the world was there. Naturally, where did it come from? Someone created. That creator, I call him Krishna. Now, if he created out of himself, naturally, he is in and through the entire creation, just like the ocean. And I'm now thinking of Krishna, just like Hemant just saying about Bhagavan Shiva, and all the qualities of Bhagavan Shiva, you know, Bada Dataratu. So if I ask for Mukti and Antakaran Suddhi, help me, you will help me in that. Thus, mind, but what is our experience? You are thinking of Bhagavan, whether Ram, Krishna, or trying to observe the silence. 1 or 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and then what happens? As soon as the class is over, let me see if I got that email or not. You know, or I have to send, one or other thought comes. This is called meandering mind, remember. Meaning what? I need to still do more japa. Don't give up dhyana, please understand. Just like because you are doing, don't give up the puja. Puja, first step. Next step, japa. And then chintana, thinking and meditation. See, there is, whenever you want to climb a ladder, every one of us thinks, you know, when you hear this, I am fit for meditation, right? Puja, etc. is too preliminary. He has said that puja is in the house, Jagata Ishadi, I would rather serve everybody, but better I can do japa, and better is I just meditate. And meditation is in a vogue, right? Anybody you talk to, I'm doing yoga and I'm meditating. Right? Now think of it. You know, there is called Sapta Vada Nyaya. It is, you are very hungry. Then you start eating, and after the 7th Mendu Vada, you say, now Santosh hoga. Next time when you are hungry, you say, hey, give me the 7th Vada. Because when I ate the 7th Vada, my hunger went away. Does anyone ever do that? Without the first 6, the 7th Vada cannot satisfy me. Directly going to dhyana alone when the mind is impure, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsar is very much there. The minute you sit down, what will happen? All those thoughts, whether it is your grandchild or what this, that, etc. The reason I give this example, I talk to parents, you know, and they say, you know, my son and daughter-in-law or my daughter and son-in-law, they don't understand. I don't know why they want to raise the child this way, etc. Meaning what? Such a nice vacation you had 1 week with the grandchild, etc. But you enjoy it, but again you come back, my children are, you know. In other words, a grandchild and grandparents both have a common enemy. These guys are not doing things. Now, what are you doing? Om Namah Shivaya. Suddenly, what happens? Grandchild comes. Oh, I'm sure they are doing it this, and my poor grandchild is not very happy. Mama is unnecessarily punished. All these thoughts will come when your mind is not prepared. So, puja, karma yoga, purifying the mind, japa, all this is very necessary. Then what will happen? Virala chintanam, he says, sarala chintanam, viralata. Virala meaning interrupted. Sarala, uninterrupted. He says, this is very natural. So viralata in the beginning from japa, when I go to dhyana, I hear this again and again, and every person has this experience. And so, but I can't meditate, so I'm not going to do it. You can choose not to do it. But if you don't want to do it, you will come to a certain point and you will get stuck. See, just because something is difficult, most of us would have dropped out in the first year of college. But hey, it is difficult, so what? I will put forth more effort because I want to graduate. I want to become a doctor. I want to become a lawyer. I want to become an engineer. And it's not easy, right? But I will try and I will work harder. Thus, from viralata, meaning interrupted meditation, whereby mind wanders off, I go to sarala. It becomes naturally flowing. And the more the love, please understand, when does your mind or thoughts flow towards an object? When your first child is being born, right? Or right after birth, you bring the child from hospital. Do you ever have to tell a mother that please think of the child? If the child is crying, go and run and help. She could be in the farthest corner of the house and a little crying comes. She runs. I'm talking about the first child. Okay. Subsequent, let him cry. It is very, very natural for the mind to run towards the object of love. So the more I hear Krishna bhajan, the more I understand the story of Krishna, that when Draupadi was in trouble, nobody could help. And he said, Krishna, Krishna. And Dushasan started pulling that vastra and the sari never ended. This is the glory of Krishna. When that elephant, the crocodile was pulling his leg, and out of mother, oh, what can crocodile do? But when the elephant found out that I'm in deep trouble, he remembered Krishna and Bhagwan came and helped. Oh Lord, hey Krishna, iha sansare bahudustare. Hey Bhagwan, I have suffered a lot. I want freedom. I want your help. Now, when you cry out with continuous love for Bhagwan, what happens? Sarala Chintan becomes very, very natural. So, Ajya Dharaya, how it will stick to Bhagwan, it won't wander. Little prayatna is necessary by me. Prayatna meaning effort in the right direction is absolutely necessary. And then it will become so natural, like water flowing from Himalayas to Bay of Bengal. It will automatically go there. Similarly, he says, Sarala Chintanam Viralata Param. So, Sajatiya Vritti Prava is japa. The space between two successive thoughts, I become self-conscious that that silence that envelops the thought is me. Now, please make the transition. In the seat of meditation, I only want to think of Bhagwan. But I can't do that 24/7 when I'm driving the car, when I'm talking to my spouse, when I'm at work, etc., when I'm doing a surgery as a doctor, when I'm running my motel and a customer comes. At all that time, what is it? Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevanam. In Buddhi, in intellect, what is it? This entire Jagat is none other than my Narayan. At that time, I'm serving him. So I see the presence of Bhagwan alone in whatever work I do, whoever I'm serving, no matter what. Thus, at all time, I keep that in mind, that Lord alone is everywhere. And now he introduces beautifully Veda Jamana.
भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिधा पावनीमता भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिधा पावनीमता कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम्.
So Bhagavan says, these are all slightly difficult, okay? They're not very easy slokas. The singing is very easy. But if you pay attention, and those who are truly interested will thoroughly enjoy, in such small, simple verses, how Bhagwan Raman Mercy unfolds the very essence of our scriptures in such simple way. Bheda Bhavanat Saha Aham iti asau Soham ityasau Bhavana Bhida Abheda Bhavana. Bhavana Bhida meaning that a vigra that is called Abheda Bhavana. Bhavani Mata is the most purifying. So now he says there are two types of devotion. Bheda Bhavana, Bheda, difference. Bhavana, the feeling, right? Meaning I and Krishna, right? Meaning I am there and you, my Lord. Bheda, difference. I am here, you are there. And Saha Aham, I am you, you are me. There is no difference. There is one alone. Now let us look at it from the worldly standpoint. Whenever you love somebody, do you not want to become one with that person? When a devotee loves Bhagwan, he wants to surrender and become one. Even when you hug your grandchildren, right? Physically, you cannot become one. But when you give me a tight hug, and he gives you a tight hug, how do you feel? Human being, when you love somebody, you want to become one with that person. The devotion, remember, love and devotion are two emotions, same emotion. When it is for higher and divine, it is called devotion. When it is for lower and worldly thing, it is called love. Right? Therefore, you and I love the shoes, right? You tell your wife, or wife tells the husband, oh, I love these shoes. And I love this dress. It goes with my shoes and my bangles so very much. I love this thing. And honey, I love you also. That means you are equal to my shoes. Those who understand algebra, right? I love the shoes and I love you. But devotion is for someone higher. And when I'm devoted to someone, right? How do you know how devoted you are? The willingness to sacrifice for my beloved. Greater the sacrifice, greater is my devotion, isn't it? The child that you have just brought from the hospital, and at 2 a.m., first 11 p.m., then again at 1 a.m., the child cries. Now, mother just having delivered the child, she is also weak, she is tired. But when that baby cries, what is it? My flesh and blood, right? My baby is crying. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And the father of the child just is not cooperative, snoring away. I told him thrice. He just turned and again started snoring. What does she do? She loves the child. She quietly gets up, changes the diaper, if necessary, feeds the child. And and when the child sleeps, then again she goes back to sleep. And if you say, she doesn't even think it's a sacrifice. Please understand, it is only another one who thinks she is sacrificing. To her, hey, it's my baby, what sacrifice? Even if I have to stay up all night, I would rather not, but if I have to, I will. Right? Your love, your devotion is measured by the sacrifice you are ready and willing to do for the beloved. The wave ocean, the dream and the dream world. Now, please pay attention, right? It says, Bheda Bhavanat Saha Aham. Right? The wave, and there is a bigger wave. Bigger wave is coming, coming, and it wants to engulf the wave in front, which is a smaller wave. And the smaller wave, not knowing that I am part of the ocean, it prays to ocean, because ocean is the Ishvara, the Lord. It says, I am separate from the ocean. This big wave is going to engulf me and I will die. Oh ocean, please save me. Oh Kailas ke Nivasi, oh ocean, please save me. Oh Nivasi of Atlantic Gulf, save me, I'm dying, I'm dying. And it is thinking what? I and you, the ocean. Another wave understands the essence in me, the essence in the bigger wave, and the essence in the ocean, the Ishvara, is all water alone. Water in my form is this small wave. Water in this huge wave is this bigger wave. And the water in the ocean is also water. Water alone appears as ocean. Water alone appears as this big wave. And water alone appears as me, the small wave. Me, the small wave, the large wave, and the ocean. There is no difference. We are all water alone, appearing as three different things. There is one alone. So what Bhagavan says, for the wave to pray to the ocean is called Bheda Bhavana, duality. I am the wave, you are the ocean. And Abheda Bhavana, he says, Saha Aham, you are me, or I am you. There is no difference. Saha, he, am I, aham. There is no difference. That is what the wave understanding, that there is no difference between me, the water, and you, the ocean, and the other wave. There is no difference. I alone am, or you alone are. So he says, Bheda Bhavanat Saha Amityasau. Bheda Bhavana Bhavani Mata. He says the most purifying is for the wave to understand. Pavani Mata, Pavani, purifying. Mata, the opinion. The understanding is Abheda Bhavana. When the wave comes to know that I am water, ocean also is water, there is no fear of death, there is no fear of larger wave engulfing me, because I am water before my birth, during, and later on also. Water alone is. This is called Advaita, one alone is. But when I do not understand, then naturally, hey Krishna, hey Ram, help me. So he says this is better. Now, one more example to make it more clear. You at night go to bed and you start dreaming. Now, in your dream, we all have dreamt, so you understand. You, the waker, now the waker is dead. Dead meaning gone. Instead, the dreamer has come into existence. The dreamer projects a dream. And in the dream, let us say that there are 15, 20 of you. You have landed in Delhi, checked into a hotel, and next morning you are getting into a bus and going to Kailas, right? I mean, going to Kedarnath and Badrinath, etc. Right? Remember, you are in Houston only, horizontal, but you have landed in Delhi. And the bus is going from Hara. Next morning, the bus has come, everybody has come, and you know this one person who is always late and still sleeping, and you threaten that person, if you don't come, we will leave next day, if you don't come in time, etc. And finally, the bus starts leaving. On the way, you stop and have lunch and whatnot, and you arrive in Rishikesh. Right? And you see Ganga Aarti in Haridwar and all this. All this is happening. And one person in Haridwar tries to, the little boat, they, in Haridwar, they've got this chain, so you hold it so you don't get swept away. And suddenly one person goes out and he gets swept away. Now, all this is happening where? In my dream. And you pray, hey, Bhagwan, please help. Bachao usko, he's drowning, he's drowning. Now remember, you, the one you are praying to, the dreamer who has dreamed the entire dream, because he's in charge, right? The person who is dreaming has made this person go beyond the chain and is being swept away. You seeing it, you are praying. Now understand the entire dream in and through. Who is in and through the entire dream? The dreamer alone is in and through entire dream. Nay, the dreamer alone is you. Ganga water, Himalaya, bus, the hotel that you checked into, the restaurant in which you ate on the road, and the fellow who got swept away, the water of Ganga. All this is who? That dreamer alone is everything. And upon waking up, what happens? All this merges back into the dreamer alone. And when he wakes up, only waker remains. Meaning what? One waker alone, appearing as a dreamer, and then appears as all this, and I see all these differences. When I see the differences, I, the one in the dream, am invoking the dreamer. Hey, Bhagwan, please save that person. Because there is difference. But when I understand through japa and meditation that the substratum, the one who is in and through everything, is the dreamer alone, who is in and through the entire bus of 20 people and the people we met and Ganga and Himalaya, it is dreamer alone. What is called Abheda Bhavana. There is no difference. One alone appearing as many. With this as a background, understand Bheda Bhavanat Sohamitya. So Bhagwan says, rather than having Bheda Bhavana, me and he, Saha Aham, there is one alone. Bhavani Mata Abheda Bhavana. This Abheda Bhavana, seeing one alone, is most purifying. He's not belittling. You have to go through every stage when you come to this. Now, all of you must have seen so many Sant Mahatma or picture where he's like this, right? Sitting there with eyes closed. 3. Now, what is this? 5 fingers, right? Thumb and 4 fingers. These 4 fingers are useless without the thumb. The thumb is the very support that helps if you ask someone whose thumb is cut off, he can't grab things, etc. Because the real strength is the support. This is called Ishvara, the Lord. Okay. This is causal body. Causal body meaning Vasana. Sukshma Sarir, second, the ring finger. Sukshma Sarir, mind and intellect. And gross body, the middle finger. These 3 fingers, index finger and Ishvara. Index finger is perceiver, feeler, thinker. Perceiver, feeler meaning the thinking. I am the body, I am the mind, my thoughts, my ideas. Normally what happens? I, the perceiver, feeler, thinker, these are my ideas, I'm thinking of this, I want to do this, meaning what? Causal body, what is not manifest. But when it manifests as a desire in the intellect. Then the desire causes agitation in the mind. I want. Causal body, Sukshma Sarir, mind and intellect. Sukshma meaning subtle body, which I cannot see, but I know that I have a mind, I have an intellect, and then gross body. Once the agitation comes, I tell the body, let us go and get pizza, right? The object. So I get it. And when that happens, what happens? Mind and intellect becomes quiet and I experience joy. So what is he saying? This is Ishvara. Index finger, perceiver, feeler, thinker. Normally, the index finger, the I, the perceiver, feeler, thinker, is with causal body, mind and intellect. I want to do this, I want to do that. It is only going in the Jagat. But now he has started doing puja. He has started doing japa. And he has started doing dhyana. Now what happens? Now the mind that was always meandering, remember, raga and dvesa, likes and dislikes, running after the world, is no longer running after the world. Instead what? It is running and abiding in Chaitanya. Om Namah Shivaya, appreciating the silence, or seeing him as a Lord and me the devotee, and you are my Lord. So the index finger no longer is meandering with gross, subtle, causal, subtle, and gross body. It is now associating with this. So now what happens? Right? This is what you have seen in the picture, Sant Mahatma. Right? Now it is a complete circle, detached from the world of OET and one with the Lord. No Bhed Bhavna. Abhed, Bhed meaning difference. When it is this way, I am separate from Ishvara. Now I am one with Ishvara and detached from this. This is called Abhed Bhavna. And you will find Guru Nanak, all Sant Mahatmas you will see, or this, what do you call this? I forget now. But mudra. Right? This mudra you all have seen. It is called Abheda Bhavana in Bhakti. And this is the goal that you and I want to reach, whereby it says, Bhavana Bhida. So, Veda Bhavana Sohamitya Sau Bhavana Bhida Pavani Mata. So, where has it taken us? Let us quick review. Okay, we have gone through a lot of important material. An individual has a desire to be happy. So he naturally acts in the world. I, the perceiver, feeler, thinker, act in the world of object, emotions, and thoughts because I want to be happy. And I act, and sometimes I get the result, which is conducive, and I become happy. Other times I don't. So I realize that I can act, plan, but the fruits of the action are not under my control. There is an unknown factor. Let us call him X or call him Bhagwan, who is the karma phala data. It is not under my control. But not knowing, the individual goes on doing more and more activities, literally drowns into activities. Right? Kruti maho dadau patana karanam phalama shashvatam. And he comes to realize that even when I get the fruits, they are finite. Right? And then he realizes that this is not going to really help. And Bhagwan says, therefore you start doing what? Ishwararpitam na ichchaya krutam. Okay? The very fact that he is the one who gives the fruits, then why should I worry about it? All my job is to do that which is right. Right? Ishwararpitam na ichchaya krutam. Not out of my desire, I want this, I want that. I know this is the right thing to do. Whether if I need it, I will do it. But the result, I will leave it to him. What does that do? When I'm no longer anxious for the result, mind and intellect becomes quiet. When the mind and intellect is quiet, I abide in the Narayana. I come to experience, I know not, but the joy comes from there. Thus, the individuals become slightly quieter and purer, and he appreciates the presence of Bhagwan. To maintain the presence of Bhagwan, Kaya Vang Mana Karyamutam Bhakti. Bhakti starts with puja, form of Bhagwan. Mind can easily concentrate. Hey Krishna. In the beginning, you may even ask Bhagwan, give me this, give me that. But remember, Phalama Shashvatam, Lord, you know what is good for me. Just give me the ability to act. And how? Jagata Ishadi, seeing this entire world as none other than you. May I just serve the world. Please understand, this is through understanding. I am Alpagnya, I have a limited knowledge, limited strength. You are everywhere, full of strength, total omniscient, omnipotent. I am a part of you. Thus the individual goes through this and japa, etc. And if we come to, he says here, Bheda Bhavana. We still have 4 minutes, so I can do it. Bhagwan Ram and Hanumanji, they were together. And Hanumanji tells Bhagwan, he says, Deha Buddhaya tu dasosmi. Deha Buddhaya. Deha meaning physical body. Buddhaya meaning thinking. Deha Buddhaya. When I am identified with the body, index finger identified with the body, meaning I am the body. Right? Deha Buddhaya. At that time, hey Ram, I am your das, I am your servant. You are the Lord, I am thy servant. You are Bhagwan. Then he says, Jiva Buddhaya Tvad Amsakaha. But when I think of myself as the perceiver, feeler, thinker, as a live conscious entity, and you, the Chaitanya, the Lord, Ram, I am part of you. See, physically I'm separate. I'm Dasa, I'm a servant. You are the Lord, I'm a Bhakta. But when I look upon myself as the Jiva, the soul, I'm part of you. You are the total, and I'm Amsa, right? Mamayvamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Bhagwan says even in chapter 15 that, Mama Eva Amsa, you are my part. In other words, the room in this, the space in this room is the same as total. This is part. The total space includes this part. So he says, Bhagwan, when I look upon you as the Lord, I'm part of you. But then, Atma Buddhaya, Tvamevaham. But when I look upon myself, not as perceiver, feeler, thinker, not as this body, mind, and intellect, but the very life, Om, right? Atma Buddhaya, I, who? That space between the two successive mantra. What self-conscious, that I am that silence. He says, Atma Buddhaya, that self-consciousness, that understanding that I am that silence. Tvamevaham. You and I are one. There is no difference because the same life functions through you, hey Ram. Same life functions through Ravan, Sita, as well as me. Electricity is same everywhere. Space is the same. No matter where you are, the same space functions through a glass, a bedroom, a house, transport tower, and the entire earth. So he says, Atma Buddhaya Tvamevaham iti me nischita matihi. He says, I have no doubt that from standpoint of Atma, you and I are one. But when I function in the world, identifying with the body, then I am your servant and you are the creation I serve. When I look upon myself as Jiva, the soul, I am part of you. Thus, no matter what you and I do, at all time, this devotion, the bhakti for Bhagwan, is part of him or Saham. And Raman Maharshi says that Saham is the highest bhakti. Okay. I think we'll stop here. Okay, Jamana, you want to conclude, please? Before you do, 1 second, hurry up. Please, 6th of March, once again, I'm asking everyone who possibly can come. Sometimes one parent can be home, the other come, because we need to start. And if we do that for, just 2 months, March to April, April to May, then summer month starts. Then in September, Bal Vihar can also start. And I want all parents to inspire their children so they can participate in Gita chanting competition. Okay. Jamana.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
This has been